Hey, go to Starbucks. They have a special for American. Just smell for the pumpkin spice latte.
No matter how much you love Starbucks, it doesn't mean you know everything that goes on behind the counter. Until now. Here are 10 secrets Starbucks doesn't want you to know.
That Starbucks, it's anywhere you look, okay?
There's no secret menu.
What secret? Tell me the secret.
Let's settle this thing once and for all. The famous Starbucks secret menu does not exist. Contrary to popular belief and social media, according to the employees, there is not some kind of magic list with dozens of secret recipes.
I hope I can trust you. I've been lied to before.
You simply can't walk into a Starbucks to order a Pokeball Frappuccino or a Snickers Frappuccino and expect your barista to know what you're talking about.
Understand what I'm saying?
This is a very common misconception people have about the chain, and, well, it's time it stopped. Secret menus are usually there to make customers feel included and in the know. But in reality, at Starbucks, it's just something customers invented themselves. While Starbucks takes people's original ideas to make custom drinks, the secret menu has no affiliation with the chain whatsoever. If you want something that's not on the regular menu, it's totally fine. You simply have to know the exact ingredients and measurements if you want your barista to make it for you. Just don't rely on what you saw on the internet and get upset at your barista if they don't know what you're talking about. So next time you want your Skittles frap, don't order it by name, but by the ingredients.
I like strawberry instead of vanilla if you have it. If not, then no ice cream, just whipped cream, but only if it's real. If it's out of a can, then nothing.
Starbucks loses a lot of taste tests.
Taste test? I'm in.
Here's a question for people who can't get enough of Starbucks. Do you like it? I mean, do you really like it? Or do you just like it for the logo to be on your cup? While the chain does a lot of things right, like coming up with crazy new drink flavors, the brewed coffee is not its strong suit, which is a little ironic for a coffee chain, no?
Oh, irony, right?
If there's one thing in particular that Starbucks doesn't want you or anybody to know is how poorly it has performed in numerous blind taste tests. It goes all the way back to 2007 when Starbucks made headlines after losing blind taste tests to none other than McDonald's and Folgers.
Good coffee is all about the bean.
Now, fast forward to 2015, and the same battle was lost by Starbucks again. McDonald's coffee is not only cheaper, but apparently also has a better overall taste. Starbucks coffee, despite its global sales, has often been criticized for leaving an off-putting burnt aftertaste, and yet is still the biggest coffee chain in the world. How does that make sense? It turns out that when you strip the coffee of its iconic logo, you also strip it of its value. At least that's according to the testers. You pay for the brand rather than for quality. And even though Starbucks has tried to up its game in the last few years, the fight's not over yet.
But they can never take our freedom!
You can buy Starbucks syrups.
Splendid. Oh, go get my burlap wallet.
As delicious as Starbucks drinks can be, sometimes the bill can get up there pretty quickly. Sure, you get your drink in a pretty cup, but in the end, if you get Starbucks almost every day, it can end up costing a fortune. To avoid all of these extra unwanted costs, all you have to do is make your drinks at home.
A DIY element does add a certain personal touch.
And don't worry, we're not talking about brewing a cup of filtered coffee and pretending it's the same. No, we're talking about getting all the necessary ingredients to create the perfect money-saving copycat right from the comfort of your own kitchen.
Kitchen, back in the kitchen!
You might not know this, but Starbucks actually sells its syrups, not only online, but also in stores. Even if they're not on display for all to see, most bottles in the back have barcodes on them, and depending on the store you go to, they're prepared to sell them to you. For about the fraction of the price that you would find online or at big retailers like Walmart, you can get your hands on your favorite syrups, from vanilla to toffee nut. The only problem is that not all flavors will be available for sale. Premium and seasonal flavors, for example, probably won't be among the lucky few you can bring home. But if you're more on the traditional side, you should be able to score what you need with no problem.
I believe in you.
The story of the PSL.
Anything pumpkin spice, please.
The pumpkin spice craze has been around for what feels like forever now, and it doesn't show any sign of slowing down. From candles to candy to latte, everything can be pumpkin flavored.
Everything is pumpkin spice.
For Starbucks, it's one of its most iconic and popular drinks ever, and with good reason. They were the ones who created the darn thing. Introduced in the fall of 2003, the pumpkin spice latte is the one that started it all and inspired tons of other products to be created. Considering that the drink is pumpkin spiced, it would be fair to assume that pumpkin would at least be part of the ingredient list, right? But as it turns out, for the first 12 years of its life, there was a very important element missing: the pumpkin. You're probably wondering how you can make a pumpkin spice latte without the guest of honor. Well, the answer is pretty easy. The pumpkin flavor was artificial.
Was it all just a lie?
It was food blogger Vani Hari, aka Food Babe, who decided to take matters into her own hands and put pressure on Starbucks to reveal the beverage's ingredients. When the news broke, people started to grow very concerned. The chain eventually listened to the people's demands, and in 2015, Starbucks HQ announced that it would start using real pumpkins in its drink. Sure, it's a pumpkin puree, but still, at least it's there.
Anything is better than nothing.
The food is not made in-house.
It was a lie.
There's nothing better than a nice, fresh pastry to go with your cup of joe. Whether it's in the morning or the afternoon, no one can resist a warm croissant. Well, at least unless you know where that croissant really came from.
Would you like a croissant?
You might think that you're getting freshly prepared pastries from Starbucks, but just because they look fresh, don't be fooled. There's no baker working in the back. Even though all the drinks are made to order, the food isn't. Everything is delivered frozen to the stores, and it's up to the baristas to unfreeze them. After the food is prepared at large facilities, it's frozen, sealed in plastic containers, and shipped. The problem with frozen food transportation is that it comes with a lot of possible risks, like lack of security, improper temperature control, and cross-contamination, even with ready-to-eat items.
It's all contaminated.
But that's not all. We've all experienced temptation while looking at the pastry display, where everything just looks so darn tasty. But how would you feel if we told you that those delicious-looking danishes were probably not even edible anymore? Indeed, the pastries you see perfectly placed in front of you have been there for ages. They're just for show. So next time you want a cookie and they tell you they're out, don't bother pointing at the display saying, "But there's one left." Not only is it not for sale, but the employee probably doesn't want to explain why.
Me time.
I'm just asking.
Stop asking!
Starbucks birthday treat.
Treat yourself.
When it's your B-Day, the day is always bright. Why? Not because you just got a year older, but because you get so much free stuff. All you have to do is walk around a bit and you'll come across plenty of stores and restaurants that want nothing more than to treat you right on your special day.
Well, aren't you a treat?
What most people don't know, however, is that Starbucks is one of them. To redeem your free birthday drink, all you have to do is download the company's mobile app or be a Starbucks card holder, and voila! Your barista will be happy to prepare your festive gift. Of course, there are conditions. You can't just join the rewards program the day of and expect the treat. No, you need to join at least 7 days before your birthday, provided you added your date of birth to your Starbucks rewards account and have made at least one star-earning transaction. Oh, and unlike some other stores, it's not a monthly thing. You need to redeem your gift on the day of your birthday or no dice. You'll even receive an email a couple of days before to make sure that you remember to swing by and pick up your drink.
Give it to me.
For the birthday reward, you're eligible for almost anything on the menu. Yes, that includes customized drinks, ready-to-drink bottled beverages, and even one food item of your choice. If your birthday is coming up soon, why not celebrate at Starbucks for free?
Count me in.
Starbucks employees get discounts.
Well, I do love discounts.
One of the best perks of working for a company are the discounts you get. Obviously, working at Starbucks is no different, and the employees get some pretty sweet deals. Let's just say that there's no way employees get hungry when they work. Not only do they get one free food item as well as multiple free drinks per shift, but team members are also entitled to 30% off food and drinks at all times.
I'm jealous.
That means even if they come by on their day off, they'll get a discount. When the holidays come around, the discounts get even bigger. But that's not all they get.
There's more?
When you work at Starbucks, you can also get significant discounts on pricey Apple products thanks to the chain's partnership program. You also get health coverage, life insurance, vacation time, employee assistance, and so much more. With benefits and discounts that enticing, no wonder so many baristas make working at Starbucks a career.
You look like a barista.
The drinks aren't diet-friendly.
Objection! Unhealthy!
Showing up to Starbucks hoping not to cheat on your diet is silly. No one can look at the menu and not be tempted by one of those delicious whipped cream-topped venti drinks. Super sweet drinks are obviously the biggest culprits at Starbucks when it comes to unhealthiness, and it's pretty obvious too. But some drinks are just way more than you probably bargained for, and that's something the chain doesn't necessarily want you to know.
Wow, a lot of calories.
Obviously, the bigger the size you get, the more calories and sugar intake you're getting, especially when you order anything in the Frappuccino department. If you get a cinnamon roll Frappuccino, for instance, you'll be getting around 86 grams of sugar, and that's not counting the 510 calories. To give you some perspective, a Big Mac has 540 calories. In 2016, the UK group Action on Sugar analyzed the sugar content in some of Starbucks drinks and found that the venti grape mold fruit was the biggest disgrace of all. The American Heart Association recommends sticking to 6 teaspoons of sugar per day for women and children and 9 for men.
Sugar. It's a block of sugar.
Well, the grape mold fruit had 25. Since then, the sugar content in most of the chain's drinks has been drastically reduced by almost 25%, but there's still a long way to go. In other words, if it looks like dessert, then it probably is, and not the best way to start your day.
Ah, the General had a sweet tooth, eh?
Cups weren't recyclable until recently.
And recycle everything.
With the amount of coffee Starbucks sells every day, it shouldn't come as a surprise that it uses a lot of cups. But what might be surprising, however, is to learn that those cups were not recyclable until very recently.
Oh, we don't recycle.
Indeed, back in 2008, the truth came out when environmental group Stand.Earth revealed staggering numbers regarding Starbucks waste. The chain was using around 4 billion cups every year, or the equivalent of 1.6 million trees.
Trees are people too! Save this tree!
Despite the recycling symbol on the cups, no cup was recycled, mostly because of the long process it requires. You see, the cups used to be infused with polyethylene, a thin liner which sealed in the heat of the beverage, which can't be easily removed from the paper. Technically, they could have been recycled, but the process required special facilities which were never used. It wasn't until 2016 that the chain finally caught on and started to introduce cups that were almost fully recyclable. A new compostable paper cup was market tested, and Starbucks is now on its way to become the king of reusability and recycling. It was about time.
Finally!
Starbucks and Oxfam had issues.
Everybody's got issues.
As a major global chain, Starbucks has really big expectations to fulfill. It's one of the proudest companies around, and they don't hesitate to advertise just how ethical and environmentally conscious they are.
Show the planet how to save itself.
And while this is a good thing, it doesn't mean that it's always been the case. It all started with its fair trade coffee. Fair trade means that the product was produced in environmentally friendly conditions and that there's a limit on the lowest price a buyer can pay for it.
They're cheap and I love them.
Which is a good thing. The problem began when the international charity Oxfam claimed that Starbucks' opposition to Ethiopia's attempts to trademark 3 of their coffee varieties was interfering with important developments for the country and the coffee farmers back in 2006. Basically, Oxfam was conjuring Starbucks wants to come to the negotiation table with an open mind and willingness to make compromises. Starbucks responded by saying that its opposition was solely because of the damage the new legal regulations would generate. The chief executive of Starbucks even met up with Ethiopia's prime minister to discuss the plans, always claiming that it was doing it with the best intentions. This case brought a lot of bad publicity to the chain, as well as shining an even bigger spotlight on the fact that a lot of coffee at Starbucks isn't even fair trade.
That's unfortunate.
Stick around, leave us a comment, hit that subscribe button, and tap or click on another great video.